Welcome back, everybody. And I am very happy indeed to introduce our next speaker. When I was talking to Kerry and Jen about doing this day, Mel was the first person that I thought of. I said, we've absolutely got to get Mel on here. Mel conquered the whole online teaching thing way before anybody else even considered it in the pandemic, and has built a really incredible network of people and a really incredible business for herself as a freelance musician. So yeah, really looking forward to hearing from Mel today. So welcome everybody, Mel Biggs. Here she comes.
Thank you so much, Kat. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to quickly faff with my screen. I need to steal the screen share from Kat there. um, and
Yes,
turn
sorry,
to.
let me get rid of
No,
mine.
it's all right. I didn't know how it was going to appear. Just need to faff with my share screen. And we'll go from there. Yeah, so let's go for it. Thank you so much. I'm really stoked to have this opportunity. It is actually the first time I've spoken publicly and done a presentation about my business. So it was really quite nice to go back through and think about everything that had happened. And I looked at my Google Diary from 10 plus years ago and thought, how on earth was I that busy? And we'll get around to talking about everything. So yeah, for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm Mel Biggs. I'm a folk educator and an online business creator. I also wear a couple of different hats, but here today to talk about my business that I've grown online. And we're going to whip through quite quickly because when I timed this last night, it took 35 minutes. So I need 15. So we're going to talk very quickly about probably what all of us here today have experienced at one point or more, or maybe we're in it at the moment. This dilemma as creatives, it's certainly what I continue to experience to a certain degree, but have a much better grip on because of the way I've designed my life and designed my business around it. And this is the dilemma that we all face. And I'm sure if we didn't experience it before, then certainly lockdown and everything that happened, we probably crashed a little bit. And not just in our income, but also in our mental health and our physical well-being. So I'm going to be sort of thinking about all of that today whilst I am talking to you. So yeah, these points, I'm sure I don't need to go through them. They're probably things that we're all familiar with as busy people managing lots of different things and trying to earn a living at the same time. So this is the way that I have grown my business. I'm going to take you through a timeline of how I started. These little tabs at the top, these tiles, these are different products that I offer as part of my business. They certainly did not all happen at once. It's been a gradual progression. So I'm going to take you quickly through a timeline. You will get a handout of this, but I'm going to whip through really quickly. So I started teaching in person in 2009. Only 3 years after learning the melodeon, and got lots of inquiries from local people in the Morris. And as part of that journey, I started a YouTube channel to support their learning, to open up opportunities for other people to see really slow and simple ways of playing. And that is what my YouTube is primarily for, just demonstrating things that really, make it obvious to people. And through that journey, I was approached by somebody who a lot of you might know. Helena Painting was the first online student that I ever taught. She badgered me to give it a go. I was very skeptical in the beginning, but I thought, why not? Let's try it out. And it was actually fantastic. And she really started something for me because it was the beginning of a very successful period in my life. So much so that in 2014 I decided to go full-time as a freelance musician. I'd already made the decision that whilst yes I was performing and I had various bands and things at that point, touring musicianship was never going to be for me. I could never see making a comfortable living off of it. And not to say that you can't, I'm sure people do, but it's a bloody tough life, right? So I just thought consistent income is the way to go. I was loving my teaching work and that was where I was going to spend most of my attention. So I had a massive growth spurt as a business owner during this period. And at some point during this time, maybe just slightly before, I launched my website as well, which was a key feature. Again, Helena actually built my website initially, and I now run it. I have done ever since she built it. But I also invested a lot in my time, my personal development, and did lots of training and was mentored for a period of time, which led towards me building my online course. And this was the first major step in my career to kind of outsource having a basically, I mean, it took hours to build, but as soon as it's there online, I could just go, you've never played an instrument before? There you go and do that course, and then come back to me when you've got the basic skills. And I am able to sell at least 2 of those a fortnight on average now, and it's a really successful product for me. But even though I had that online course, it didn't solve everyone's problems. I was doing at least 7 or 8 hours of teaching most days every week. And I realised the peak burnout for me was actually pre-COVID. And I needed to make changes. There's a lot of stuff I'm not saying here, but there were lots of health issues, lots of investigations, lots of misdiagnoses, blah, blah, blah. But it was this kind of cyclical burnout that carried on happening, even though I was able to solve quite a lot of problems. And I didn't know what the hell that was about. And I thought, I've got to make a change. So enter Patreon. This was something I was aware of. Patreon was a platform that I'd used for supporting podcasters and different things. So I was aware of the platform, and I'd had in my mind for a while to launch a membership club for my online people that I teach. Because the only way I was able to access them was one-to-one, lots of screen time, lots of, blah, 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 activities, and it all got a bit mad. So I thought I needed to kind of consolidate what I was able to put into a business, and basically that was not more screen time for me, it was less, and kind of maximising having a membership club that could mean I was able to offer a lot more for a lot less, basically. And I want to mention that in the 2021, I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD, and that really, really helped me understand why the burnout cycles were there and what I could actually do to better manage my time. And soon after that, I decided to consolidate my one-to-one students even further. And I started, because of the success of my Patreon, which I'll come on to talk about what I offer on there, but it consists of a lot of group online teaching, which is something I'd never considered before lockdown. And because of the success of that, I decided to offer a variety of online classes for groups of my one-to-one students, and they were really successful for a few years and are available as pre-recorded sort of classes now. I ran them live, but they're available as recordings. The amazing thing happened. I got to go on tour with Fisherman's Friends, the musical. Some of you might have known about that or even seen it. I job shared the role with Hazel Askew. And because I was already online and earning a pretty decent wage with all of my stuff, I didn't have to stop teaching. I just found a way of making it work and doing pre-recorded work. And I was able to go and live the absolute dream on multiple stages, and even in Toronto for 8 weeks over Christmas, and run all of my stuff online from there. In January 2024, I launched my podcast, which is a major pillar in my marketing kind of scheme, and also just a bloody great way of kind of getting to know people and all of that. But, for me, it was definitely a business decision that I made. And then that brings us to this year, where I've now hit 300 members on Patreon. Not all of them paid, I will say, but it's really, really successful. And it's actually now at 354 people as we sit here today. So a really, hopefully, massively potted journey, but it shows you that not everything came at once. So this is where my business model sits today. And it's really important, I think, when you're, particularly if we're people that can struggle with energy and burnout and stuff like that, that we're organised so that we can give a really clear message of what we offer. So as I said, I only offered one-to-one lessons for a long time. And then I had the pick up and play course. And between the two of those, I was doing really, really well, but it was too much work. So the Patreon community membership allowed me to offer multiple different price points, much more affordable for many people who have got families and busy lives with work. And it actually opened up a much younger demographic for me as well. It wasn't just my general kind of retirees, which is great. I was really looking to try and access a younger audience and people that wanted to learn the instrument, but maybe couldn't have the time or the spare cash to afford like a £50 lesson or whatever. And then, as I say, because of the success of the Melinar tutorials on Patreon, I set up my online group classes. And now between the 4 of these points, everything's available, and I get a blended approach. People will take all sorts. They'll do a bit of everything. Generally, I get a lot of people that stay with me for a long time and support me in different ways through these different products. And I'm going to be talking about today for the first time, putting it out there publicly. I am offering my services as an online business coach, brand new to this, so it would be lovely to have some guinea pigs to work with to work out how I can take this forward. It's something that my online business mentor has been nagging me to do for many, many years, and I finally feel able to offer that as a service. So I'd be very happy to talk. There's a mailing list sign up at the end if you're interested in that. So this is the main bulk of what we're here to talk about today. It is, what is Patreon? And some of you might be familiar with the platform anyway, but I wanted to take it from, because I get a lot of questions, and people that are interested in my Patreon don't know what Patreon is. It's a subscription platform for fans and supporters. It's technology that exists. It's essentially a website that you create a little space on. You create your creator account, and then you are able to completely personalize that space to exactly how you want it to look and how you want it to function. And the content that you supply and the price points that you offer, everything is completely at your whim, essentially. And then when you are able to go public with it, fans can find their way there and they can sign up to whatever tier they want. There's no contract, there's no minimum term that they have to serve, and they can kind of adjust their money tier at any point. So if they can't afford you, they can either go free or they can scoot down a level or scoot up a level if they want access to extra content and that kind of thing. And as I say, creators have full control, so that's probably why I like it, because I'm a bit of a control freak. And here on the left is a little screenshot of what my Patreon looks like. So this is the kind of the gubbins of my Patreon. This is how I've set mine up. And again, I'll just re-emphasize that it didn't start out like this. I've added to it over the years, but these are the membership tiers that I offer. There is also a free platform sort of participation now. Patreon introduced that, I think it was 2023, that you could basically have people join your membership and you can choose if they get stuff or not. I personally don't give stuff away for free, and I'm a little bit perplexed by the free thing, because I try and talk to them and they don't talk to me, so I don't know why they're there, but it's lovely to have them, and it has meant that my membership has massively boosted, and they do get my email notifications when I post, and I hope that sometimes people will see that I'm posting stuff that they want and then they upgrade. So as you can see, the structure of pricing that I've set, I've chosen those prices, and you can choose to have one tier, 3 tiers, multiple, many more tiers. It really is up to you, but I think simple is best. So this is what I offer. I've got extended episodes of my podcast Chatterbox. I offer sheet music transcriptions of tunes that are on my YouTube channel, because I used to constantly get plagued by people asking me, and it really bugged me that I was doing it for free, and because it takes a very, very long time to transcribe and put annotations of button numbers and directions and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, okay, that would be a really, really good tier just for itself. So they're my guardian angels. And then if you bump up a next tier, you get access to not only the sheet music, but also the Melinar tutorials. So Melinar, I love a word that is catchy, Melodian webinar, which is already a contraction. So we've got like a triple contraction here, but it also, with my name, it kind of goes well quite nicely together. So I offer them live via Zoom twice a month, and I also record them and then provide them for as like an archival recording. And I introduced in 2024 my guest tutor series. And so I interview them for the podcast, and they also provide a tutorial that if you sign up for a bit more, you get access to their teaching as well as my own. And the really beautiful thing that I have here at the bottom is the WhatsApp chat group. I used to have a Facebook group, lost my Facebook account, long-winded story, lots of stress, hate Facebook now, and now it's all about WhatsApp. And we have a Sharing Sunday event, which is a kind of little prompt that I put out every week to sort of help people celebrate their milestones, and everyone's really supportive, and we set up separate group chats for events and festivals and Melodian workshops and stuff throughout the year, so people actually get to meet up in real life, and if they're travelling abroad then they get to meet up with people and vice versa, and it's just a really, really nice community that we've got going, and yeah, I'm really proud of it. So I thought it would be interesting to go and have a little look at can I also just get a thumbs up? Can you see this Patreon website? Has it moved from the somebody tell me. You should be able to see. Thank you, Jen. Oh, you've raised your hand. What does that mean? Does that mean yes? Okay, I'm going to carry on. So this is my Patreon. This is what it looks like. And what I'm here to show you is obviously what it looks like. I had a podcast go live yesterday with the fantastic Mr. Bruno Lotron. You can actually listen to this for free on any podcast platform, but if you would like the extended edition, which is a bumper hour and a half long, as you can see, you can come and sign up here. There's his Melinar, which is blanked out because I'm here viewing this as a non-member. So this is what it would appear like if you're not signed up. But yeah, it's a really, really handy little platform. But there's so much content on here now that actually what it allows you to do is set up collections, and you can literally just put however many collections you want. You can separate things out by theme and by topic. I actually run a series of tutorials every year now. It's based on feedback from my community many years ago now, but that they really like to be able to work on things over a period of time. Obviously, kind of sounds obvious, right? But this enables me to make sure that the collections are kept together. So this is a series, nice and simple, that I'm running this year alongside the guest tutor series. Here's all the sheet music posts in one place. Here's all the teaching that I do around my own method and all of the principles of the MEL method. So there's loads of tutorials in there. And it's just a really easy way then that you can kind of separate everything out. I've got a playing by ear series. I've got an establish explore, which was kind of like a tune development series, how to play faster using metronome techniques, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. So yeah, when they introduced collections, it made a massive difference to how people are able to kind of access and get round. So that's a very brief look. Again, there'll be a link to go and have a little look for yourself. And if you want to sign up as a free member, then you can kind of get in and have a look. And also, if you fancy, if you really like what I'm doing, maybe you're not interested in Melodian stuff, but maybe you just like what I'm doing and fancy just paying £3 a month. If you do, that would be amazing. I'd love you forever. But there's absolutely no obligation to do that. So this is why Patreon works. And I'm sure I just didn't skip forward one. No, okay. So it's a really sustainable model, and you get recurring predictable income. The flexibility in content creation and delivery is completely your own. You can choose the type of post that goes out, whether it be audio, video, images, just text. The community, it's about building community, you know, and that's the real heart of it for me. It's not just that I mean, I'm very proud of the service that I provide, and I always think of it as a service. I think of it as work. But it's there for the community, and I'm always wanting their feedback. I'm always prompting them to get that. And then I respond to that in what I do and how I take things and the direction that I go with it. But as you can see on the left here, this is a screen grab of my income since I started in 2020. It spikes and it troughs, and it's quite exciting when you get, you know, over £1,000 a month. And that happened a couple of months ago for quite a while. And I thought, oh, is this going to be me now? But then it plummets really dramatically because people come and go. And I want them to have that flexibility, but it can be quite dramatic. But I would still rather have that money than not have that money. And it does absolutely make a difference. Patreon is my biggest earner. It's my most consistent earner. And it's absolutely pays me for the work that I do, and again and again and again. So this is why I've got it here, better for me in balancing work and rest. As soon as I started Patreon, obviously it took a lot of time to get it going, and it's a lot of hard work, but it really does mean that I can switch off. I know when I'm working, I know when I'm not working, and actually for the amount I get paid, if we were to think of it in like a minimum wage, I'm massively getting paid more than I actually put in. But that's not to say I'm not working hard at it. I'm just working a lot smarter now. And also I think it's really important to point out that it's got a really ethical CEO. He's not a wanker, excuse my French, but he's a really good guy, stands for some really good stuff, and essentially has built a really good platform that works for the creatives that use it. I'll whip through this. You've got this on a handout, but here's some really gorgeous things that my beautiful angels say about my community. I call them Melt Angels. They actually called themselves that, and I thought, let's go with it. But they're really, really happy to have an international community that really support each other, that is providing a wide range of valuable resources in really user-friendly content formats and design. I've got much older people that are on there. I've got younger people. and it all just kind of blends together really, really nicely. And it's consistent quality. That's a really nice thing that I get fed back a lot. I haven't put it on here because it would be massively blowing my own trumpet, and we're not here to talk about that, but everyone says how much they love my teaching and the way that it comes across online and the way that I've kind of like function in that space. And the biggest thing here at the bottom is the flexibility to dip in around a busy work life. People love that ability to be able to press pause on a video, go away, do something else, come back and kind of pick up with their learning later. So whether that's Patreon or another online space, it's really important. I wrote 2 blogs during lockdown. They're here. You'll be getting links to them. I really recommend. They're a short read, but if you've never done online teaching, or if you think that you want to improve or get better, here we go. A couple of blogs. And this one on the right here, Why My Online Groups Rock. This is actually the findings that I found from my group tuition, because as I say, I was skeptical about group learning online, but it really works, and there's loads of positives that you wouldn't necessarily think about. So go and have a little read of that vlog. And I think that you'll find a lot of interesting stuff in there. What I haven't been able to talk about, because I'm already over time, and it's really, really important, I want to stress, this could be a whole other course, training, presentation in itself, is marketing strategy. I'm very passionate about that. You have to think about how people are going to find you and the tools you use to get them to find you. So I have lots to say, but I don't have time to talk about it. So we're going to whiz straight on to me selling you something. Maybe if you're interested, if you've enjoyed this rapid fire ADHD waffle, I've got a much more concise version in my 7 Days to Success online course, which I've made a cheeky little £49 for you, limited time only. I've gone back through it. I've edited little bits to bring it back up to date. It's really, really good. Go and have a little look at it afterwards, and you'll be able to wrap your head around getting online with a proven strategy and like a how-to. These are the things you need to think about, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Have a little read of that afterwards. And here are the summary points, the key takeaways. I really want you to realise that you don't need loads and loads and loads of people following you. You don't need to bring your whole community with you. You just need a few people to make a difference, and it really does. You need to have a clear offer so people know what they're signing up for, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to start with something simple. Think about how people are going to find you online. I refer you back to the marketing strategy that I don't have time to talk about. Patreon is a low-risk way to start earning additional income. It doesn't charge you until you start earning, and even then it's on a percentage sliding scale, so it's really fair. Income from being online is entirely possible, and it's really important that you recognise that. And I think that if you can optimise your online presence, you can actually spend less time online and make it work for you. And I'm not talking about monetizing ads on social media. I don't do that. I use social media to campaign for what I'm putting out in the world that I really believe in. And again, reiterating, start small and grow with consistency. I didn't do all of this overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's taken me 13 years to get to this point. So take it really, really steady. Oh gosh, I shaved 15 minutes off, but I've still gone over. So apologies to everyone else, but thank you for listening. If you would like to sign up to my mailing list to get more info about coaching, you can scan that QR code and it will take you to a very simple sign up, or you can just get in touch directly with me by that